It was a cold Friday evening when the crowd gathered behind the local gym, their voices echoing through the alley like a storm waiting to break. The air was thick with tension, charged with the kind of energy that only comes when cruelty meets courage. Among the crowd stood a tall, broad-shouldered man named Rick, a man known for his arrogance, his insults, and his deep-rooted prejudice. He was the kind of person who found joy in belittling others, especially anyone who didn't look like him. That night, his target was a quiet woman named Maya, soft-spoken, calm, and composed. She had moved to the town only a few months ago, hoping for peace, a new beginning, and maybe a chance to escape the noise of her past. But Rick saw her difference as weakness, and in his mind, weakness was something to be crushed. He had mocked her accent, her skin color, and even the way she carried herself with grace. "What's the matter?" he sneered, pacing in front of her as the crowd laughed. "You too scared to fight? Or do you people only know how to talk?" His words sliced through the air, every insult meant to provoke. But Maya didn't move. Her calmness only made him angrier. People whispered around them, recording the scene on their phones, hungry for drama. Maya looked at Rick for a moment, her eyes steady but filled with quiet fire. "You don't want this fight," she said softly. Her voice was calm, not trembling, just firm, like she was warning him, not out of fear, but out of mercy. The crowd gasped. Rick laughed. "Oh, I want it. Let's see what you've got." He rolled up his sleeves, his fists tightening, arrogance dripping from every move. Maya took a slow breath, stepped forward, and raised her hands, not aggressively, but like someone who had done this before. The crowd went silent for a moment. Her stance wasn't random, it was precise, balanced, controlled. Some people recognized it immediately, it wasn't a street stance. It was a fighter's stance. Rick charged first, his ego leading the way. He swung wildly, trying to land a punch fueled by anger, but Maya moved like water. She sidestepped gracefully, her eyes never leaving him. One move. Two moves. Every time he tried to hit, she wasn't there. The crowd started to murmur. Something felt different. Rick roared in frustration, lunging again, but this time, Maya's right hand snapped forward, one clean jab to his jaw, followed by a sharp left hook. It was so fast that the crowd barely saw it happen. Rick's body froze for half a second, then crumpled to the ground with a thud that echoed like thunder in the alley. Silence. The phone stopped recording. The laughter vanished. 30 seconds, that's all it took. The same people who had been cheering for Rick now stood speechless, staring at Maya in disbelief. She didn't gloat. She didn't yell. She simply took a deep breath, looked at Rick, and said quietly, "Maybe next time, don't judge someone by their silence." Then she walked away, her steps calm and steady, leaving. Later that night, the video went viral. Millions of people watched in awe as the quiet woman who tried to walk away ended up teaching a bully the lesson of his life. But what most people didn't know was that Maya wasn't just any ordinary woman. She was a former military self-defense instructor who had served overseas, training soldiers how to fight under pressure. After losing her brother to hate crime violence, she had vowed never to use her skills for anger again. That's why she avoided confrontation. But when Rick pushed her too far, when he insulted not just her but everything she stood for, she remembered her brother's words, "Stand your ground, but stand with honor." That night, she did just that. The next day, Rick showed up at the gym again, but this time, he didn't come to fight. He found Maya in the corner, quietly training, her focus unwavering. He hesitated for a long time before walking up to her. "I'm sorry," he said softly, his voice trembling. "I was wrong." Maya stopped mid-punch, looked at him, and nodded. Change starts when you realize the fight was never against others, it's against the hate inside you. He nodded, ashamed but grateful. That moment marked the beginning of a quiet transformation. The story became more than just a viral video. It became a symbol, a reminder that silence doesn't mean weakness, that calm doesn't mean fear, and that real power is often hidden behind humility. People around the world commented on Maya's composure, her restraint, her quiet strength. She didn't fight for fame or to humiliate anyone, she fought for respect, for dignity, and for the right to exist without being looked down upon. And as her story spread, something beautiful happened. People started standing up, not with fists, but with courage. Women who had been bullied, immigrants who had been mocked, and ordinary people who had been silenced by hate, all found a spark in Maya's strength. She became an unspoken hero of resilience, proof that sometimes the most powerful voices are the quietest ones. So, if you're listening to this story right now, remember this: never underestimate the quiet ones. Never assume silence means surrender. Because when pushed too far, even the calmest soul can rise like a storm, and that storm can change everything. And if Maya's story inspired you today, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of people who believe in courage, justice, and self-respect. Because every story we share here isn't just about revenge, it's about standing tall when life tries to break you down. Together, let's keep spreading strength, one story at a time.